we can find ourselves talking different languages about similar sort of issues, or issues that we're familiar with. And so sometimes, while they're not exactly the same, a shift in our language and the way we approach stuff can make a breakthrough for people. And you know that with coaching, I've seen you do it, Pete, and James. I've read some of your stuff and some of the feedback from your clients, that ability to adapt your message to respond to what you're getting back from your client is an example of that kind of thing. You're not fundamentally changing what you're getting them to do, but you're changing the way you present that in a way that resonates with them, and they're able to push forward from it. And that, in your space, comes from an understanding of what it is we're trying to achieve, which, when we come back out into our broader life, is I think there was one study I read that said something to the effect of modern humans, in the course of one day, have more stimulation, more information, more data thrown at them over the course of one day than medieval man had over his entire lifetime. And all of that is all of the time, and we're filtering that, we're processing that, and a lot of it's happening at a level that we're not aware of, but it's still there. You know, that's still bandwidth that's been occupied by processes that have been run. And if, you know, to use that analogy, it's a bit like having your computer open. You've got 25 windows open in your browser. You've got 15 programs. They're all running. They're all requiring energy. Whether that's your computer processing speed. For us, that's mental and physical energy that's required to do it. And so we combine that with this natural inclination, as we talked about, to add more. Yeah, we need to change something, and we forget the change bit, and we just add a solution in. And it's really difficult, it's really challenging to stop for a minute and go, actually, is there something I can more usefully stop doing that would get me closer to where I want to be?
Yep.
Before I try and add a solution in on top of all this other stuff I've got going on. And it's you know, sort of 20 odd years ago, you'd see it in the time management space. It's managing energy as much as anything else. Is you can be really good at effectively managing something, but do you need to be doing it at all? Is your baseline question, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you get that with thinking from like a training program aspect. You see some people who are doing too, like you said, rowing and strongman and this and that and what have you, and it's like, okay, so you're getting tired and burnt out and everything. What can you take out of what you're doing at the minute to get better at the things that you want to get better at, rather than trying to do everything? Like James says this a lot as well. You know, you can do anything you like, but you can't do everything. So pick one or two or whatever. But yeah.
Because I just asked Ben, I mean, in your intro, you mentioned the I think the phrase was, I might be wrong, I think it was mental health first aid, or something around that. How did you first? It's not something I've ever heard of before. So how did you first hear about that and then get involved in it? And what is it? You know, what if you can kind of explain for people and for me.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with the last one first. It's a bit like physical first aid. Your preservation of life, prevention of further harm, and get someone who knows what they're doing. Long and the short of it. And with the mental health side of that, there's a good chunk of that is removing and reducing that stigma that gets in the way of us getting help. A lot of it, there's once you get under the surface of that, there's lots more you can do to build it at the front end. How do we stop people getting bad enough that they need experts? So a bit like prehab, rather than waiting until they're broken and then rehab. Similarly to physical first aid, you know, two days with me to become a mental health first aider, I back myself, especially over short distances. I'm pretty good at what I do, but two days with me is not going to replace 13 years of medical and post-medical training to turn you into a psychiatrist. You're not going to become a psychiatrist or a counsellor, but it's that, if being able to see someone in distress and have the confidence to go, "Are you all right, mate?" And ultimately, when we strip away there's lots of knowledge that goes with it, and there's lots of specific scenarios, but underpinning it all is reconnecting us with that humanity, the ability to just go, I don't need to be scared about asking you, how you doing? How I came to it was increasing numbers, 20 odd years in HR. I could tell you, first time I had somebody report in sick with being signed off with a mental health issue, phoned in, said I've been signed off with depression. And I still remember some 18 years later going, shit, what do I do? Literally, I know the word ish, but I have nothing else from here on in. And then over time, as we've got a bit better about talking about this side of our existence as humans, we're in that space where we have a bit more awareness of it as a concept. And so more people coming through, and I had a couple of people at work presenting with some serious, significant issues, and coming to me because you're in HR, you know about people, help this person out, as well as my wanting to help them, and going, there's nothing in my life or my training to date that puts me in a place that I know what to do now, and I'm fumbling my way. How do I upskill myself in this? And then, I've done a master NLP practitioner, done certs in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance and commitment training, flow state, mindfulness, all of that sort of stuff. So all around the performance, but specifically with so when it's wrong, what does that mean, and what do we do? And looking for the confidence in that. And that's what led me to MHFA. So research, found it, and went, actually, you know what, I could become a first aider myself, or I could become an instructor and train other people to be able to help with this as well. And my organization backed me to do that.